Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Trauma to Triumph podcast. I'm Annabelle Ingleton. I'm your host, as we know. And today we are going to be talking about a concept that I've coined. I don't know if I made it up, but we're just going to say I gave it a name. I was inspired to talk about this because I was recently coaching a client of mine about this particular issue and coached her really hard on it. And even though I did, it gave her a lot. At least what she told me was she learned a lot. She got a lot from it. And I really felt like it was a really great teaching moment for you guys. So anytime I help a client, I always think of the podcast and the listeners. So to me, you guys are like my client, my unpaid clients. So whenever there's anything good that I can offer you guys, I always think of you. So we're going to talk about this concept called, or that I've called it, cost versus value. And you probably have heard some form of this in some way, but we're going to talk about it in regards to transformation, healing, growth, change, doing life, and being able to regulate your emotions around things and really making decisions. So when I'm talking about this concept of cost versus value, what I'm referring to is when we make decisions or when we do things, we tend to do things based on things that give us value. We desire outcomes like love and connection and safety and whatever it is, but we tend to do things because of what we deem, how valuable we deem this particular thing. It's going to give us something. It's going to give us a house. It's going to give us a car. We're going to get a job. We're going to get money. We're going to get love. Some things that I wrote down that I was thinking about that people tend to do things for is love, connection, pleasure, safety is a big one, peace, happiness, stability. These are all really, really important outcomes or feelings that we do things in an attempt, or we do things in order to get this particular outcome. It's always to achieve an emotion. Whether you guys believe that or not, we do things to, it's an action. We'll like buy a home, right? It's like we think, I'm not doing it for an emotion, but you buy a home for many different reasons. And I'm going to use buying a home because I think it's such a good example in regards to cost versus value. So when you buy a home, what are some reasons that you may want to buy a home? You have safety. You have maybe you've lived in the hood in a really scary neighborhood your entire life, and now you want a little bit more. You just want safety for your family, right? So it's buying a home can bring you a lot of safety. It can bring you a lot of peace. It can bring you stability. It can bring you financial investment and value in terms of your financial worth later. I think it can bring you a lot of peace. It can bring you a lot of, your quality of life goes up. So there's a lot of things that buying a home can offer you. So there's a lot of value there. But let's talk about what cost a home comes with. I want to use it kind of like a pro and a con, because I think this is how our brain looks at things. I know if you're an avid listener of the podcast, you've heard me say that the brain does things that bring us pain. That avoid pain. We get pleasure and we do things in the easiest way possible. So the least amount of effort. And if you think of value as pleasure and cost as pain, that's how we're kind of using the example in this episode. So when you think of buying a home, there's lots of value there, right? And then you also get a beautiful home. But let's talk about the cost. So the cost associated with buying a home. Listen, I used to sell homes for like almost 10 years, and I did loans for homes. So I know the things that you have to do in order to buy a home. So many like kind of tedious and even things that take a long time. So if you think about saving money for a down payment, sometimes cleaning up your credit, sometimes paying off debt, maybe you have to wait a long time because let's say interest rates are really high. So you have to wait a year. So there's things that you have to do, like depriving yourself, sacrificing a lot of maybe budgeting, saving money. Maybe you get another job. Maybe there's a lot of effort that you have to put into it in order to get more money to be able to afford the house. Maybe you have to get a loan or borrow money from somebody. So you have to get kind of vulnerable and ask your in-laws for some cash or something. So there's a lot of costs that come along with it. And some people might look at these like, like bad things, or some people might say that's nothing. If I'm getting a house, like that doesn't feel like a cost. But for some people, this is really painful, and they may not deem it as worthy of doing in order to get the house. Okay. So we do these things in order to have some kind of an outcome, right? When you think of dating, right? You wanting a relationship, wanting to fall in love, we have to like put ourselves out there. We have to date. Some of us have to go on dating websites. There's so many things you have to do in order to find love. And you have to be vulnerable. There's potential. There's a lot of value that you can get, right? Companionship, sex, intimacy, connection, safety, love, happiness, memories, experiences, babies, a partner for the rest of your life, a best friend. There's so much value that comes with like a relationship. And then if you think of the cost, well, there's a lot of things that can happen. You can risk potential heartbreak. You can risk losing them, or them rejecting you, or cheating on you, or the relationships can be really hard work. There's a lot of things that you have to do in order to maintain a relationship. So there's so many costs that come with it too. So the reason I'm using these examples is because I kind of wanted to paint a picture about my client. So my client is, the reason this came up for us is because she is a new entrepreneur, and we've been working together for many, many, many weeks. And we've cleaned up a lot of stuff, a lot of blocks, a lot of limiting beliefs, a lot of past traumas. We've done a lot of Psych-K. We've done a lot of great work together. And because of a lot of the work that we've done, she's been able to start her business. She launched it. She got a new, really high value, big paying client. And now she has to, as a result of getting the client, she has to do the project. She has to fulfill the work, right? You get a client, and that's really hard, but then it's also getting paid and doing the work that comes along with getting paid. And, it's bringing up a lot of anxious feelings for her. There's a lot of fear there. She started noticing that once she got the client and she felt good, she had to now do the work, but she noticed that she wasn't doing the work. And there was a lot of fear there. Every time she would go to work on the project, she'd procrastinate, she'd avoid it. She would do everything but work on the project. And it was really frustrating because she's like, I need to get paid, and I want to get paid, and I want to prove to myself that I'm a great entrepreneur. And it took a lot, to get this client. And this is what I quit my job, and now I'm doing this. And now she's really frustrated with herself because she hasn't been able to like follow through and actually complete it. So we talked a lot about the fear associated with what's going on when doing the actual work. And whenever there's procrastination, that means there's a part of you that fears doing the actual thing. Always, 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 always. You guys have probably heard me say this incessantly. So when we don't go towards something and we go away from something, retreat, avoid, procrastinate, excuse me, guys. It is a sign that there's a part of us that wants it, and that's the part that wants to do the work. But then if you're not doing it, that means that there's a deeper part of you that finds that work to be threatening or unsafe for some reason. So we have to kind of do a little bit of investigating work to find out why there is fear there. And this is the work that I do with my clients. This is the kind of work we're doing in Bloom, my new group coaching program that's coming in August 2022. So I took her through the steps and to figure out what it is that could be underlying. And we found a lot of what's called schemas, these deep emotional learnings that she learned when she was younger. There was fear of like feeling dumb. There was a fear of not getting paid. And then when we did some of this work, we were realizing that there was some stuff with her mom. And so we've gone to learn that there's a lot of past experiences that have made her believe that starting her business and doing her work makes her feel really vulnerable because it's her worth or her value is being judged. Okay. And this is really common for a lot of us entrepreneurs because it's our own business, our own ideas, our own services, our own products. And it can feel really, really nerve-wracking when you're being judged. It can feel like you yourself is being judged. But I explained to her too that we have to separate our personal value from our business value. They're completely different. They're not the same, but we tend to mix them up or combine them and think that if we're not getting clients, let's say, we think we're not worthy, but that's not the case. It's just maybe there's some strategy issue or business thing or product thing that we need to fix. So when it came to, I'm like fixing my lipstick and you guys can see it on the, I'm recording these videos now, or I'm recording the recording of the podcast. So now I keep all the things in the video. I don't edit any of it. So this is fun. Okay. So we found out the things that happened that made her fear doing the work. We cleaned a lot of that up. And then she was noticing, she was frustrated. She's like, I'm still really procrastinating on doing the project. Like, she was scared about putting herself out there. That was fine. She got the client. She was scared about not, getting paid. She got paid, she raised her prices and she's getting paid really well. And now doing the work is freaking her out. So what we talked about is it was feeling hard for her to do the work. And she explained how doing the work made her feel like when she had to turn in the project, it brought up a lot of nervousness and a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of fear of being judged. And it was because she was worried that the client might not like it, or they may critique her work, or they might not like it at all. And then it risked her not getting paid. So there was a lot of reasons coming up as to why that was basically driving or giving her the reasons to procrastinate. And one of the other things that we discussed too is that she believed, she kind of admitted this, and she said, Annabelle, I thought that after we did all this work, once, I learned about myself and I learned all about all my parts and did all this healing, that it was like a magic bullet, that like I was no longer going to ever feel any discomfort when it came to my business. And it was just going to be like a silver bullet. And then everything was going to feel really easy. And I can appreciate that, because I know I always thought, I thought that about healing for a long time too. But what I helped her see was that sometimes we have this idea that when we get the money, life's going to be easy. When I get the husband, life's going to be easy. When I get the skinny body, life's going to be easy. And it makes sense to believe that, because if it's something that you truly, truly desire and you've never had it, and that thing that meets a need, right? There's a lot of value in that thing and you've never had it before. You've never had a true love or a thin body or a lot of money or nice things. And we think that when we get the thing, that's going to take away all the pain and life's going to miraculously change. And I think she had a bit of a, sobering experience when she realized, oh my God, so starting my business, like you can think that starting your business, quitting the job and now starting your business and being self-employed, that it's just going to just be easy now after you start the business. And I explained to her that it's fair that she thinks that, because this is such a big feat, just quitting and then starting a job. It's such a big deal. It's so beautiful that she did that. It was so hard to do. And we can think that now that we have it, everything's going to be good and peaceful and just nothing but good feelings, and that things shouldn't feel hard. And I explained to her that the brain is really unique in that it's not there to make you successful or rich or skinny or have an amazing marriage or have a great job or to be self-employed or to make $1 million. Your brain is there to keep you safe and alive. I think I mentioned this in last week's episode, and it's not there to help you start a business. That's just not what the brain was made for. It's there to keep you alive, pumping your blood and doing all the things, right? So we modern people, we have all these desires of businesses and money and wealth, and because society has taught us that we need this shit for some reason, right? And to a certain extent, we do need things, but not to the level that a lot of people have it. And we do these things because we think they're going to give us something, right? So let's, in particular, if we talk about a business, she wanted to start her business because she wants freedom. She wanted money. She wanted a really great lifestyle, like a different lifestyle, like to be able to sleep in and have vacations and unlimited ability to earn money. She wanted to do the kind of work that she wanted to do autonomously. She didn't want to have a boss. She wanted to be her own boss. So she thought that these are all needs that she wanted because she's always had a job and there was always a lot of control over her, right? So a lot of times what I find with women and men too, because I've had a lot of male clients, but now my clients or my ideal client, or the people that I work with, are women. So specifically with women in general, when we haven't had our needs met, we will, and this actually applies for anybody, we'll always be seeking to get those needs met, always. And we tend to think that our needs will be met externally with outside things. And especially when certain needs were never met. Okay. So let's just say like love, for example. If we never had connection or love from a parent, if our parent didn't attune to you, if your parent didn't attune to you and soothe you, you didn't feel seen by your parents, you didn't connect to them, they didn't encourage you, they didn't love you, they didn't create safe space for you, they didn't create, connection and affection and encouragement, just all the things that a parent should give you. When you didn't have that, now as an adult, that need is going to be very deep and very big, and you're going to want that. And because you didn't learn that you can get it from your parents, but unfortunately what the psyche does is it makes you believe that you're unworthy. When our parents don't love us, we end up thinking, something's wrong with me because my parents didn't love me. And so now you grow up with something's wrong with me, which tends to grow up like deeply, or what I see with women is it turns into this, I like there's something wrong with me. I'm bad. I'm a bad person. I'm not lovable. I'm not smart. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not valuable. Okay. That ends up being the underlying belief. And when we believe that, we will believe that we need to all we want is love. All we want is that affection. All we want is that one thing that need to be met in order to feel worthy and valuable and lovable. So now that need that needs to be met, we think we need to meet it with external things because we don't have it internally. We haven't learned to do it ourselves. If our parents, you guys, if you have secure attachment, you will grow up to be really self-sufficient and confident and believe you're really worthy. I know you've met those people. Like I've met, I remember having a best friend in high school, and she was just so confident and beautiful. And I think she was told over and over and over that she was beautiful and smart and all these things. So she was really, really confident. I mean, she was 15 and like had the confidence of like a 30-year-old woman. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, she's so confident. Like I love that. But I can see why. She was validated a lot. And so she had that belief that she was beautiful and smart and all these things. People wanted her, right? So when you grow up without that, now you want it. And with the example of, let's say my client, let's say she didn't have freedom to express herself. Let's say she was always controlled. Let's say she was always told that she has to be perfect and that she can't make any mistakes. So those things of being controlled, not having freedom, being told that she has to be perfect. Now, as an adult woman, when she may want that, that's a need of hers, right? Now she wants to feel free. Now she wants to do things and not be controlled. And now she wants to do things the way she wants to do them and feel like it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be her way, not just perfect, right? So she may be looking for that in an outside way. How does she get that? And if you think about her career, being self-employed, that is a way to express or to get that need met, is to have a career where she's not being controlled because she doesn't have a boss. She has autonomy to be herself and do things the way and be creative the way she wants to do things, because she is a very creative person. She does design. She could do it the way she wants to do it and not be perfect per se. Let's say she could do it the way she wants to and not be controlled by like a boss and to do it the way they want to do it, right? Excuse me. So you can see how a career, being self-employed, can meet that need. The problem with the thing that's going to meet that need is the way that it gives you that validation when it's not going perfectly well, when it's not making you feel free and smart and free and creative and worthy and valuable anymore, when it's not showing up to prove to you. And how would your work do that for you? You get clients, your clients give you really good feedback, you get paid, you have freedom in your career, and your lifestyle is really, like, your schedule's really open and you have a lot of freedom. So that's the way it would look, and that's the way it would feel. But if let's say she quits her job, and as soon as she quits her job, it doesn't feel that way. It feels, she's like, oh wait, oh shit, I actually have to work really hard. There's actually rejection. People don't say yes all the time. I'm not getting paid right away. Oh my God, what if they may not like it? Let's say a client complains and says, this project isn't what we wanted. And she's like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. So the second we get there and it doesn't give us the value, it doesn't meet the need that we thought it was supposed to meet for us, we can think that there's something wrong, that something's gone wrong here, that you shouldn't do it any longer. That just basically what I hear a lot is something's gone wrong here. And there's something wrong with the thing. And what I want to offer is that everything has pros and cons to it. Everything has values and costs to it. When you do something, it can bring you a lot of value, and there's a lot of work that needs to go into it. It shouldn't be easy. And when it's not easy, it doesn't mean that something has gone wrong. This is so important, guys. Just because something isn't easy doesn't mean that there's something wrong with it. We're not entitled for things being perfectly easy. It's not, and things don't have to be hard, but when they're not easy, it doesn't mean that something has gone wrong. But when we've experienced a lot of uneasiness or things being difficult in our life, when we do this thing that we're finally doing and it's not easy, we tend to think, oh my God, something's gone wrong, because that thing that hurt me was wrong in the past. And now I have this business and it doesn't feel easy. Why not? Oh, maybe something's gone wrong with this. Or we can turn it around and say, something's wrong with me. Even worse. I think that's the worst thing that we could do. And when I say worse, I mean, like, it's just incorrect. We think, oh, something's wrong with me because it's hard. Something's wrong with me because it isn't easy. But guys, when you do something new, it's not going to be easy. If it's new, it's going to challenge you and it's going to be a little bit hard. When you do something that, and not even just something new, everything in general, there's good parts to it and there's bad parts to it. There's painful parts and there's really pleasurable parts. A relationship isn't rainbows, unicorns, and daisies. There are fights. There's so many ruptures. There can be betrayal. There can be arguments. There can be disagreements. There can be control. There can be so many things, but there's also so much value in a relationship, right? There's connection and safety and a best friend and support and resources. Just because you have a fight doesn't mean something's gone wrong. And we have to consider that everything has costs and everything has value. And just because things feel hard, it doesn't mean anything has gone wrong. We're not entitled for things to be perfectly easy. And I appreciate the fact that we can think that they can be. Here's what's great. Things can get easier. The more you do them, they get easier. When I started off as a coach, coaching wasn't easy per se. I had this really naive confidence when I started off as a coach. I think back to myself and I think I just fucking went into it and I was like, I'm going to fucking help everybody, because I don't know. I just had this like really naive confidence that I was a really good coach. And mostly because I'd been coaching myself for 5 years. And I thought, if I could do it and it got me such great results, I know it'll help other people. So the little knowledge that I have, when I think back, oh my God, to 3 years ago, I didn't know anything, but I really thought I did. And I'm glad I had a little bit of this naivete when I did it, because if I had fear around it, or if I had doubt, I probably wouldn't be as successful as I am now. But this naivete, or this belief and this true desire, to put value out there and to help people, I was more focused on the value and not focused on the cost. I knew it would cost me. I knew it would take a while. I knew it wouldn't happen quickly, but I was so focused on what the career would give me. I knew I would earn a lot of money eventually. I knew I would have a lot of clients eventually. I knew I would have to start where I have to start, but it was worth it to me. I was like, the sooner I start, the sooner I get there. So I was okay with it being messy and imperfect and just trying, and it's been hard when I look back. If I would have known all the things that I would go through these past 3 years, oh my gosh, if you would have told me, Annabelle, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. You're going to do this wrong. I probably would have been like, fuck no. I probably wouldn't have done it. I probably would have been scared. And people get asked that in interviews a lot. I hear people say like, if you would have known how long it was going to take, would you still do it? And a lot of people will say, I totally would have done it. If you're really honest with yourself, you'll probably like, fuck no, I wouldn't have done it. But the value, when you're focused on the value of it, of course you would do it again, right? We learned so much. There was so much beneficial stuff that came from it. So of course we'll do it, right? But it doesn't mean that because there is costs to it, it doesn't mean that we should quit and stop. Especially guys, if you're doing something new. The brain, when you do something new and the brain it's not easy, the brain will not want to do it. Remember, it wants to do things with the least amount of effort. And when something is new, there's so much effort involved. There's so much resources you have to pull out. You have to think really hard. You have to maybe even do a lot of research. You have to get a coach. You have to get a trainer, whatever it is. You have to hire somebody. You have to invest money. You have to invest time, effort, so many resources. So the brain is like, fuck that. I don't want to do that. I thought it was going to be easy. No, let's not do it. What can we do that makes us feel really good? Laying on the couch and surfing on Instagram. That makes me feel good. I get a lot of pleasure. I get hits. I get entertainment and I get to see what people are doing. I get inspiration. Oh, let's do that instead. That feels really good. But it keeps us from putting ourselves in a situation for things to get easier later, to get to the value, right? Instead, we don't like feeling the cost of it. It feels uncomfortable and we run away and we avoid it. But we only procrastinate and prolong our success, right? And it makes sense why we want to run away to feel better, right? We want to numb it. We want to avoid that tough feeling. But I'm here to tell you that everything has its costs. Everything has its cons. But the more you do it, the sooner you get on that road, you're going to get to success. At first, it's going to feel hard. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean that anything has gone wrong. And for a lot of us guys that have experienced a lot of pain in our past, we have learned, our brain has learned, we do not want to feel any pain at all. We've associated negative emotions with bad things happening. So now when we have negative emotions, something bad's going to happen. I can't do this. I got to go. And so now the story is something bad's going to happen when I feel a bad emotion. But I want to offer that if you do it and move forward with bravery, with courage, with compassion for yourself, with even if you start slow and start small, if you keep on going, it's going to get easier. Give yourself the opportunity to see that when you do it, nothing bad happens. You don't die. And good things follow. That's the new experience your brain needs to have, right? I always say experience has created the wound and the deep negative limiting belief. New experiences create healing, and new experiences create new beliefs and unlimited beliefs, right? So we want to push through that discomfort. You can handle it, sweetie. It's a little uncomfortable, but I promise you, if you keep on showing up, you have to lead yourself. You need to practice self-leadership here. This is where the rubber meets the road. Like, so many times I've had clients that have told me they thought that like once they processed all their pain, all their traumas with Psych-K, life is just perfect and easy. And I'm sorry to say that it doesn't happen that way. I have so much like, I thought, oh, once I have my coaching career, it's going to and I make a lot of money, life's going to be so easy. No, more money, more problems sometimes, guys. now because I have a lot of money, that means I have a lot of clients. Because I have a lot of clients, I have a lot of personalities to manage. I have a lot of stress I have to take on. I have a lot of overhead because I have more money now. I have a home. Now I have a big overhead and bills and food and kids and furniture and marketing and investing and coaching. I mean, there's so much that comes with growth, and you just get new problems. Like sometimes we think when we have money, like money's going to make everything better. Like, let's say you haven't had money. For me, money was a big need of mine. So I thought that once I got money, life was going to change. I remember thinking, when I make $5,000 a month, oh my God, if I can only make $5,000 a month, I know I will have made it and life's going to be so easy. Well, guess what? I make maybe 3 times that, and it's not like perfectly easy. It still comes with different problems. Money only solves money problems. I'm going to say that again because I need you guys to hear that. Money solves money problems. Now you have other things that you have to manage: your schedule, yourself, your body, other people, personalities. So there's just so much that comes with it. And when I say that you're not entitled for things to be easy, it's not that I'm saying that it needs to be hard either. I just want you to know that you can handle the hard. It's about being able to handle hard things. Because, I wrote this, I think I wrote this in a quote. You don't necessarily have to work hard. You just have to be able to handle hard feelings. Because when you can handle hard feelings, hard emotions, those difficult emotions, when you could soothe yourself and be there for yourself and guide yourself towards the goal in spite of those hard feelings, that's when you have success. Successful people are successful not because they work hard, not because they're better than you, not because they're more pretty, not because they're skinnier, not because they're lucky. It's because they're able to endure the hard feelings that come with that success that they have, with whatever thing that they have that you think you want. Do you think Jeff Bezos is happy because he's a billionaire? He's probably really happy, but he has a lot of stress. He's had to do so much rejection and pain, growing pains and problem solving. He's probably been sued a million times. Like, so much comes with so many difficult emotions. You need to be able to handle so many difficult emotions when you want that goal, when you want success. And I want to offer that the only reason successful people are the way they are, have what they have, or have nice bodies or whatever, it's because they can handle tough emotions, and you can too. You just need to practice it a little bit more. You just need to do it more, create new experiences around it, and endure the feeling and just breathe your way through it. Inhale, exhale, start slow, start small, and do it little by little. And you get stronger and stronger at handling the hard emotions, and success comes after that. All right, guys. So, we still have to show up. We still have to do the work. You can handle it. You can do it. Because my life isn't perfect and easy. I still show up every single day. There's so much on my plate. If you guys knew what I was handling right now, like, oh my God, I'm doing like a whole marketing revamp. I just invested a lot of money on a new business marketing coach. I'm redecorating my office. I'm starting a whole YouTube channel. I'm doing so many things, and it's really stressful. I'm creating my new program, and with clients, there's so much that I'm doing, and my kids are off school right now, and oh my God. But I manage it. I handle it. And I've had some things go awry this summer. I was dating someone, and I was so, I thought like he was going to be someone special or someone that like I would date for a while. And it ended up not being the case. And I felt really let down for a couple days, and I coped for a couple days, and then I got off my fucking coping, and I got over it. Not over it, but I was just there for myself and allowed myself to cry and listen to sad music and drink a little bit. And then I was like, okay, my part got what it wanted. I'm done. Let's move on. Let's get to dating again, and it's okay. Nothing has gone wrong when things go wrong. Nothing has gone wrong when you have these hard emotions. You can get through it. So I hope this episode was helpful. Let me see. I'm going to look at my notes real quick. I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Let's see. I have some notes. Yeah, that success isn't immediate. Results take time. Patience, I think, is a really uncomfortable feeling to feel for a lot of people. We want immediate gratification. And when we don't have it, oof, it can feel really, really, really uncomfortable. It can feel the feeling of waiting, the feeling of like postponing pleasure for long-term happiness. Man, that's hard. Success. And that's what, especially for business guys, if you're an entrepreneur, this is something you have to practice, is waiting, the patience with waiting. It's going to happen. It's just a function of when. But you have to just keep on going, stay consistent, believe that it is going to happen, and it will happen. But success isn't immediate. Sometimes you will be successful really quickly. My client, her first client that she reached out to, she got them and they hired her. And I'm like, your first pitch and you got it, like, oh my God. So it can happen quickly for a lot of people. But know that when you see people in their success, people living in the fruits of their labor, they have endured a lot. More importantly, they've been able to endure the tough emotions that come with waiting for success, with getting to success. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be perfect and easy, but when it is hard and you have hard emotions, it doesn't mean something's gone wrong. Okay. I hope this was helpful, guys. This was really on my heart to share with you because I thought I coached the shit out of my client that day. I kept on sending her Voxer messages, and she did explain to me that, that it was really helpful. But one last thing I do want to leave you guys with is that we can sometimes think that once we get the success, remember, like the relationship, the job, the body, or whatever, we think we don't feel good. We don't feel the happiness that we thought we were going to feel, because the reason that is because we're weighing it on outside. We're weighing happiness on an external thing. And we get the external thing and it probably feels good for like a week or two, maybe even a month or whatever. But then it can feel like it goes away. And the reason is because that isn't the thing that's going to meet the need. The need needs to come from inside. The need needs to come from you just knowing that you are enough, that you are worthy. And it means that you have a shaky foundation, basically. It means that you're putting your value on external validation, and that's never what we want. I think I said this in the last episode too, is when we get the thing and then we were on a high and then we come down from it, this is just proof that the thing isn't going to bring us happiness. The source needs to be from inside. And that just means that there's a part of you that needs some healing, that needs some addressing. And this is the work that I do with my clients, guys. This is the work that we're doing in Bloom. We're identifying because one particular woman just hired me and joined Bloom with the early bird special that I did in July. And we were going back and forth via email. And some of the people were emailing me and we were talking. I was doing voice messages with them. It was really fun. And one particular woman she said, I feel really bad because I have a good life. Like society wise, nobody would ever look at my life and think, damn, she's probably really unhappy. She's like, I have a beautiful home. I have a great husband. I have beautiful kids. Everyone's healthy. I have a great job. My husband makes a lot of money. I am not happy. And I feel bad that I'm not happy. And she's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And I explained to her that there's nothing has gone wrong, but these external things aren't there. Again, they're not there like to make us happy. They add to a better quality of life and they make things easier, but they don't necessarily make you happy. And there's nothing wrong with having all these external things and not feeling happy. That just means that there's a part of her, and I explained this to her, is that there's a part of her that has a need to feel happy. Or what is it? Let's say she got all these things because she thought this was going to make her happy, like a home and a husband and kids and a job and money. And now she doesn't. And I asked her, what are you feeling? And she said, I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling like overwhelmed. I'm feeling really tired. I'm feeling, what else did she say? She said, I don't love myself. I feel really like I don't take care of myself. I'm overweight and I used to be really, really thin when I first got married. And so she wants, if you notice, she's lonely. She doesn't have connection. She doesn't feel beautiful. She feels ugly. She doesn't feel, she's really tired. So, that means that there's a part of her that needs connection, that needs attention, because she's lonely. So she needs to spend, she wants to be seen. She wants to feel heard. She wants to feel maybe understood. She's tired because she's doing a lot, because she does a lot in order to have all these things, because she thought these things were going to give her happiness. So she's always in doing. And, she talks a lot of shit to herself. She's explaining how she has like a really loud self-critic. And so she doesn't feel like she loves herself, and she doesn't take care of herself or do anything good for herself. And she's let herself go and gained a lot of weight. So she's very excited about Bloom, because she understands that that's the work we're going to be doing, is to look at life, understand what's making you not feel good, what's triggering you in life, what's activating you, what's making you feel all these unpleasant emotions. Or maybe you have all the things and you still aren't happy. What are the things that you need that you think you need in order to feel happy? And then we do the work to meet those parts of us and find those deeper beliefs, so we can rewrite them and reprogram them and thus heal them, and then reprogram them with all the unlimiting beliefs, so that you do feel your truth, you're connected to your higher self, and you remove those blocks. So, I shared that. I forgot why I wanted to share that, but it's because that's what it was. Because sometimes we think that once we have all these valuable things, that there isn't going to be any more pain. And so, I wanted to share that example, because I think that this may be the case for some of you, and it's okay. It's very normal, but this is the work we're going to be doing in Bloom. So if you're interested in diving deeper, and you're a woman who if you can relate to any of my clients that I just spoke about, or even me, or that one potential client of mine, or the one that just joined Bloom, please join the wait list or the interest list. The link is here in the show notes, or it's here below in the YouTube channel in the description. So join the wait list so you can get notified when the program launches, when the early bird special comes up, and we can work together so we can clear up all that stuff, and you could start knowing your worth and meeting all those needs that those parts of you need, instead of getting it from external validation. All right. I hope this was helpful. This episode went a little longer than I thought, but that's probably the case for most episodes. And I hope it was helpful. If you think that this can help somebody, please share it. If you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please subscribe. That way, it helps the show. If you want to give it a rating, please feel free to rate it whatever your heart feels what kind of rating it deserves. And continue listening. If you want to see the video to this podcast, it's going to be on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and I'll link it here below in the show notes too. All right. So I hope this was helpful, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.